Professional dancer, and I teach and perform transcultural belly dance. In my main job, I'm a research scientist. I have a PhD in the earth sciences, and my scientific interest in how kind of everything works that often overflows into my dance practice. This, combined with the fact that I'm kind of a chronic mild pain sufferer, means that I've a long time been interested in anatomy and biomechanics. And over the last few years, there's been kind of a bit of an explosion of resources devoted to kind of the biomechanics of dance and dance anatomy. But the importance of neuroscience in dance is much less well catered for. Until the Substantia Nigra project started providing training courses, the neuroscience of dance, there just weren't really any resources available for this. So the training I joined with the Substantia Nigra project, this gave a really excellent and fascinating overview of the parts of the brain that are involved with initiating and controlling perception, movement, and memory. And these, of course, are all really essential parts of dancing. And this kind of neuroscientific knowledge, it kind of helps me to both refine my own practice and to find better ways of delivering my classes and making sure that my teaching is much more accessible to everybody. But dance is one of the few kind of movement forms and movement practices that really heavily engages every single one of the senses. So I kind of find it surprising that the kind of neuroscience and neuromechanics of dance isn't being kind of thoroughly researched kind of actively at the moment. Dance is definitely different to a lot of other sport and movement practices because of the wide variety of muscles it uses. It uses all the kind of deep intrinsic muscles and the extrinsic muscles. And it just engages all of the senses. You need to see, you need to feel, you need to hear. Whereas other sports don't tend to kind of engage the hearing as much at the very least. I know there's been a kind of like a plethora of scientific studies over the years that suggest that dancing is really, really good for you. It's good for your health and well-being, and there's been studies that show that it lowers the risk of dementia. And I think that the dance community would really benefit from a better understanding of how and why this is the case, not just from a perspective of being able to kind of promote our own classes as kind of well-being programs, but also so that we can kind of find better ways to build health and well-being into kind of our own class schedules and actually make a kind of a movement practice that isn't just about dance, but is about a whole body therapy. I also find myself thinking about how dance it's an ancient practice. It's been part of community building and healing processes in some way, shape or form in probably every single culture that has existed kind of across the entire earth. And this has to be because of the unique way that dance engages the nervous system. But from what I can tell so far, all of this is still just kind of the realms of anthropological research. And it strikes me that there's a real kind of gap in knowledge about how dance and the nervous system interact. And if we were to study this, we could kind of get so much more understanding about the human body and human experience. And we could use that to kind of help develop and refine movement therapies that could help treat everything from dementia through to chronic pain. So I think it's really important to start thinking more about neuroscience and neuromechanics of not just kind of the common movement forms and the kind of elite athletes who get paid lots of money by advertisers and the like, but kind of the uniqueness of dance and how that actually influences the nervous system is vitally important.
Hi. Today I want to talk about dance as a meaningful occupation. When I found out about Sophia Martin's Neuroscience of Dance studies and workshops, I got really excited because they crystallise with science what dancers instinctively know, and I feel this is well worthy of further study. The pandemic has been a retreating phase for me, and I've been sinking deeper into somatic practices for well-being, particularly as a complementary therapist. But dance for me has always been one of the most complete activities to engage in. I'm Sarah Fay. I got into dance when I was studying occupational therapy 20 years ago, and my studies at the time peeled me away from my creative arts practice. I identified a need for participating in something meaningful outside of my studies and my work. So originally it was a salsa class which progressed to Egyptian and later fusion belly dance. But I found that it nourished my mind and my body, and I experienced challenge in a safe environment. I was learning new skills, making friends and social connections, and I practiced focused attention, which as a beginner really struck me as a meditative practice. There was a real body acceptance amongst the belly dance community, and all this whilst moving and staying fit. So as I engaged deeper with the performance aspect and the demands of learning routines and choreography, there's a deeper challenge of memory skills under pressure, but you get to express and be creative. And in many ways, the stage is a microcosm that forces you to confront your relationship with yourself. I've done several workshops with the neuroscience of dance. I particularly enjoyed the memory skills class. I enjoyed the science, but I took away some really solid workable tips, ways of reducing cognitive load, and how many times you need to watch a movement performed for optimal memory. I've also taken trauma-conscious yoga with Jessica Spence and dance integrated healing method with Sophia Martin. Everything that we experience is via the body and the senses, so it seems logical to me that the body holds the key to healing and moving through any trauma that remains there. Because if you can't feel safe in your own body, how can you ever feel safe? So if you're interested in the therapeutic or scientific aspects of dance, definitely check out the neuroscience of dance.
Hi, my name's Lynn Chapman and I'm a dancer, a performer, a teacher and a musician. My stage name is Fulia and I've been teaching dance for over 20 years now. I've always been fascinated with the brain and how certain teaching tools work for some people and why they don't work for others, and also in the role that the brain plays with regard to performing, how it can help you and how it can hinder you. So I attended some of Sophia's workshops on neuroscience to learn more about this area. As well as learning the scientific names for areas of the brain and what they are specifically related to, I mainly found Sophia's workshops really quite reassuring. So all of these dance practices and teaching practices that I've been developing and learning over the last 20 years or so, to find that they're now really being backed up with scientific research and data is just really reassuring. It's useful to know that you are doing things right. You always think, you hope you are, but to have that scientific proof is really helpful.
So I have decided to attend to some of Celine's workshops, not because I'm a dancer, I'm not even dance related, but I thought that it was really interesting trying to understand and to know more about neuroscience, which is something new to me. And I wanted to know what Celine had to say and how come she was going to interact with us with that subject, even for me that I'm not even in the area. And I really found it interesting because she gives tools so that we can know more about our body movements, even though we're not even thinking about it, right? Because we do that on a daily basis without even thinking that we're moving a leg or an arm or something. And it was really good to have these workshops with her, because she also entertains and she interacts and she gives amazing explanations about how everything works. And it's really important to have these kind of workshops with someone that really understands what she's talking about. and you feel secure, and you feel like, okay, you're sure that that person really know what she's telling you. And that's Celine. You can feel really confident whenever she speaks and whenever she explains all of the subject. I have attended more than one workshop. I mean, the first one was out of curiosity, but I found that it was so interesting that I had the need to attend to more workshops, which I did. And the other one was quite different, very interactive, and we had to release a bit of ourselves and dance for a while, and it was really good. That's not even something that I'm comfortable with, in particular, I mean, in videos when we are doing these workshops with people that we don't know. But I felt really at ease, and that's the way that Celine makes you feel in her workshops, at ease, as if she was talking to a friend. And that is also something that it's really important when someone is trying to explain you and something that you don't know, or something that she wants to transmit to the world. So I will for sure attend more of her workshops, because I think that they are really interesting and she's amazing.
My name is Shai. I am from Israel. The past year or so, I have been making the effort to participate with Celine's workshops with a neuroscientific approach. It is her big baby that she has been working on quite hard a long time, and I am quite happy to contribute in my own humble way. For me, it was a different experience and perspective to learn new things, and I wish to recommend it to others to give it a shot and expand your horizons. I have been using her workshops also for myself, for other dance projects, and for myself. And, well, I look forward for her next performances and contributes. Thank you again, Celine, for the bottom of my heart. Been a pleasure to meet you, and still look forward to the next stuff you're intending to make. Ciao for now. Happy Lag BaOmer and well, other merriments. Can't keep up with all of them.
Hello, my name is Liliana. I've been in Celine's workshops a few times, and I'm not a professional dancer, so I was like, I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know what I would feel, I didn't know what kind of people. I knew most of them was dancers and not dancers, so I was a little bit scared, to be honest, and the experience was amazing. It was like I never feel fit to dance because I was not able to feel comfortable with my body, because I'm kind of a little big and I'm tall, so I didn't feel too much fit to dance, because you always have that conscience that people have to be skinny and have to be fit and need to know about it. So no, it's not at all. I was having a little bit issues at that time, some personal issues, life issues, so that kind of things, and I was a little bit depressed, and I feel like, well, I couldn't think the experience will be that good, because I always have troubles with myself, and it was really good. I connect straight away with that people, and when I look at myself, I was dancing like I never did. So she was really great. She was making us feel comfortable. She was making it feel acceptable. So yeah, I do like her workshops, and I think she's doing something incredible, and I hope people see that kind of idea through it and can research more about it, because like I said in the first of this video, I never had too much experience and I never feel fit, and I connect with that people straight away. I feel accept, I feel amazing. So yeah, thank you so much, Celine Martins, for this experience, this amazing experience. It makes me feel a better person. It makes me feel like I can dance everywhere, every time I want. Thank you. Cheers.